I know you've heard this saying before. When a person shows you who they are, believe them. But more importantly than that, when God shows you who a person is, believe him. Okay? A lot of people give lip service, and a lot of people are just deceitful. And depending upon the relationship you have with that person or the position that they have in your life, they have a way of seducing you with their words. Their words are like honey, right? They're sweet in your ear. It's sweet in your ears. You know how people say, whisper sweet nothings into my ears? Some people have the ability to do that to us. But when God tells you who a person is, you have to 100% believe what God is saying. You can't be a believer of Christ. You cannot be a woman or a man of God and not believe what God, your Father, is saying to you. And so when God reveals who a person is, you have to believe him for of what he's telling you about this person. I know it doesn't look like it with the natural eye. I know what you've experienced with this person. I know that you have history with this person and they've never been this before. But if God is telling you this is who they are right now, if God is revealing to you what they have done, if God is revealing to you what they have said, you have to take it at you have to take God at his word. You have to 100% believe what he's saying. God, a little bit of a personal story. God has been telling me that someone extremely close to me was an enemy, a couple of somebodies, okay, a couple of people. But this one particular person was the closest to me. And God was telling me that this person was my enemy. And I recall this person telling me, I'm not your enemy. And it was soon after that that God told me this person is, in fact, your enemy. And I just couldn't believe it because of the position that this person held in my life. But God began to show me the things that I was overlooking. Listen, when God shows you red flags, you have to open your eyes. You have to be vigilant. You have to be alert. Be of sober mind. You can't allow the emotionalism of who they are and what you used to have and who they used to be. This is who they are right now. You got to believe that thing. And so God was showing me that this individual was my enemy. And I was just like, God, how? How could this? No, I don't, going back and forth with God as if he's lying. The Bible clearly says that God is not a man that he shall lie. And so if he's telling me that this person is in fact my enemy, then this person is in fact my enemy. And so I began to pray and ask God to help me and ask God to open my eyes, to remove, the past, the history, the emotionalism, all those things so that I could really see what was going on and protect myself, not just in the physical, but in the spiritual. Because a person can smile in your face and at the same time be praying against you, praying on you. And so I was listening to a sermon, and in the sermon, the lady said that God basically was saying that God was giving me or those listening the heads of our enemies, and and she said that your enemy is going to stumble and fall. And I just, okay, whatever. The very next day, I got a message that my enemy stumbled and fell, literally. And when I had heard the message the night before, I took note of it. And sometimes we hear things and we don't believe it or we think that it's for a time far off. And when I tell you the next day that I got that message that my enemy had stumbled and fell, I shut my mouth. God will make a believer out of you, right? You think you believe, but God will show you, like, no, I'm here for you, my child. I'm fighting for you. I'm going to take care of you. I told you this person was your enemy, and this is what the word says happens to your enemies. Psalm 27:2. When the wicked came against me to eat up my flesh, my enemies and foes, they stumbled and they fell. Okay, go to John 18:3-6. It also talks about your enemies falling to the ground. Isaiah 8:15 talks about your enemies stumbling and falling. Again, Psalm 18:38-42 talks about your enemies falling. It's a reason why God keeps talking about enemies falling. God is going to make your enemies fall. I know that you may not believe that such and such is your enemy. I know that you may think that they have good intentions, but when God tells you something about a person, when God reveals the red flags, when God replays conversations in your head, when God reminds you of things, oh, remember when they did X, Y, and Z? Remember with this, remember with that? I was trying to show you, I was trying to make you aware. Believe God, take him at his word. Don't believe these people. Don't believe the lies they tell you. People will tell you anything to get what they want. When God says this person is your enemy, trust and believe they are your enemy, and you need to move accordingly.